Hello, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my CONMEBOL World Cup Qualifier predictions for match days 13 and 14 for this coming March international break. It's been many months since we did have an international break, so this will of course be an exciting one to cover, especially with Argentina versus Brazil coming our way as well. If you guys want to see more coverage on the South America World Cup qualifiers, please don't forget to leave a like on this video and subscribe if you're new to let me know that I should continue this series. But yeah, let's get straight into it, starting off with Paraguay versus Chile. Paraguay have seriously picked up form ever since Gustavo Alfaro has been appointed. Not a single loss ever since he has taken charge, even while coming up against Argentina, Brazil, and Uruguay. Their form prior was disastrous, but he has really risen to the occasion for this nation, as they are holding on to a 6th place spot, while Chile are second to last with 9 points. There's no denying that they have been heavily underwhelming, very much compared to their golden generation less than a decade ago. Now, the nation has improved in their most recent World Cup qualifier match, scoring 4 goals against Venezuela to pick up their 2nd win in this qualifier campaign. What's crazy though is Paraguay, prior to Gustavo Alfaro's arrival, were in a somewhat similar situation. Only 1 win against Bolivia. So now with them being in such fantastic form, pulling off some upsets as well, I cannot see Chile continuing to bounce back in form here. I'm saying Paraguay get the win at home with a 3-1 scoreline. Moving on to Brazil versus Colombia. Brazil has a really tough window without a doubt, coming up against them and Argentina next. They are in somewhat of a safe spot in this qualification campaign so far. However, there's no denying that for their standards, they have been quite poor. They have been severely underwhelming for their reputation in the football world. 5th place at the moment, and they picked up 2 draws in the last break against Venezuela and Uruguay, both finishing 1-1. Vinicius Jr. even missed a penalty against Venezuela, so it wasn't even that surprising when he missed against Atletico in the Champions League not that long ago. Either way, as great of a player as he does not fully deliver for the national team to the same degree. Neymar was supposed to make his return, but is now just getting injured once again and has been officially ruled out, unfortunately. So now Endrick will take his place instead. It's just crazy to see the national team feel some kind of despair, as they are truly one of the greatest in football history. I mean, no one has come to 5 World Cup titles like them. While Colombia were looking like the most informed team in the continent, they started to fall short ever since they played Bolivia back in October, being one of the first teams to travel to their new stadium, El Alto, losing 1-0. They annihilated Chile right after, and despite scoring in stoppage time against Uruguay, they did as well to defeat them 3-2, along with another 1-0 loss to Ecuador. 1 win in their last 4 games, while prior to all of this, they were undefeated. The defense on paper is really solid, but they are not gelling as well compared to prior. That being said, there's so many quality attacking options, on both sides actually, but neither of them are really to be trusted based off of their recent form. Both really needing to step it up and build the momentum, but I think Brazil can just scrape through with the 2-1 victory at home. Now for Peru versus Bolivia, it's a battle of the minnows. Bolivia are at that playoff position, while Peru are last place with just 1 win. But the main reason why Bolivia are in that playoff position is because of their incredible home field advantage. If you don't already know, it's already been a nightmare to travel to this nation with their high altitude. But they just moved their stadium to an even higher location. Since they have moved to El Alto, they have not lost a single match at home. But unfortunately for them, this one will be played away. But with Peru's perform, they might be able to pull something off here. Peru's only win came against Uruguay back in October, and other than that, they have put off some close fights time to time. They also just appointed Oscar Ibanez as the caretaker manager, so they can look revolutionized a tad bit and throw Bolivia off. I actually think they can pull off a result here despite the recent troubles. I'm going for a 1-0 victory for Peru. Ecuador versus Venezuela next. Ecuador are now 5 matches in a row with a clean sheet. Their defense is looking like one of the best in South America. Of course, it's when you got the likes of Hincapié and William Pacho. Attacking wise, they're not always at the top of their game, but clearly they're able to dictate the tempo of many matches and frustrate so many teams. Even while having a red card for most of the match, they still were able to defeat Colombia away. That is a massive statement on its own. Venezuela, on the other hand, were looking so good at the beginning of this qualifier campaign. I really wanted to see them qualify for their first ever World Cup. But now, unfortunately, it's just not looking so promising anymore. They still got some decent results, like drawing with Argentina and Brazil recently, but in these matches where 3 points are simply a must, they flopped, like against Chile, where they conceded 4 goals to them. Ecuador have all to prove while playing at home. I'm sorry, Venezuela, best of luck, but I think Ecuador have what it takes to get a 2-0 victory. Uruguay versus Argentina will be crazy for sure. Not only is this an insane matchup without a doubt, but Argentina are now 3 matches in a row without getting a win while playing away, and this could easily be their 4th. Montevideo is a scary place to travel to in World Cup qualification, and Argentina will also be missing Messi. Yes, he's been left out of the squad due to fitness fitness concerns to avoid any risk of injury. Of course, there's still many other incredible attacking reinforcements, but Uruguay is not going to make this easy for them. At the same time, for their sake though, they'll need to heavily rely on Darwin to pull through here. He's been lacking some confidence, and the Champions League exit for Liverpool is a clear example, but he can very much turn up for the national team. He's actually one of the top goal scorers in this World Cup qualifier campaign. He also has been solid overall, I'd say, and I actually think Uruguay can halt Argentina one way or another. I think they can either win or draw here, but I'm actually going to say we do see somewhat of an upset. Uruguay winning 2-1 at their own home ground. Moving on now to matchday 14. Now, staying on topic with Uruguay, although they might pull through against Argentina, I think they will struggle against Bolivia. I already went over the altitude advantage this nation has. They have never lost a match since moving to that stadium. Even if their spirits get crushed against Peru, they definitely have what it takes to bounce back here as they'll regain their superpowers. I definitely see them at least scoring one goal here. But Uruguay are a tough, strong team, and I think if they're able to pick up any points against Argentina, they'll go into this match with their heads held high, and this one finishes in a chaotic 2-2 draw. Bolivia is still keeping that undefeated El Alto record. Chile versus Ecuador now. I'm really curious to see how Chile perform here based on what happens in the previous result. I could be totally wrong for their match against Paraguay, and they start to impress earlier on. But the signs are clear that Ecuador have more of a structure right now. Not only that, Ecuador's window also looks quite doable overall, especially with the form they are in. I think Chile could make it tough, but Ecuador will still come out with the victory 1-0 away. Venezuela versus Peru. It is too tough to judge Peru at this state. We have to see how the new mystery caretaker does in the previous match day. And like I said, Venezuela have dropped off quite a bit. It would be really disappointing regardless if they cannot pull off some kind of result at home. Their defense in recent time has been sloppy, but I do think their attack can come out strong here, especially when they have the likes of Rondon. I actually think this one will finish with a massive scoreline. Peru coming out scoring 2 goals themselves, but Venezuela getting 3. Scoreline finishes 3-2, Venezuela victory. Colombia versus Paraguay. I've already given a brief summary on both of these teams, but in terms of Paraguay's incredible form, who knows how long it will truly last. Colombia's spirits could easily rise once again at home. This is the perfect opportunity for them to find their form once again. James Rodriguez just needs to rewind his Copa America 2024 and World Cup 2014 highlights to gain some motivation. And John Duran still is a remarkable player. Even if he's gone off to Saudi, you've got to give him trust that he will put in the work for his nation. For me, this one could look like it's finishing off a bit dull with the scoreline of 0-0, but Colombia do find their ways at the end and get a 1-0 victory. And last but certainly not least, Argentina versus Brazil. Incredible matchup. The two most popular teams in South America. Each have their strong and weak points as of late, but at the moment, Argentina sit at first and Brazil are at 5th. Will no Messi be a problem? And will Brazil lack some creativity? I don't think so, as Rafinha is en route to be a Ballon d'Or contender with how he's performing at Barcelona. Cunha won't be suffering any ban internationally, obviously. He could be lethal up top if selected to start. But at the same time, Argentina could be set with the likes of Julian Alvarez. It's a headache to think about, and I'm sorry to be underwhelming, but I think this one will finish in a 1-1 draw. I just don't see a winner right now. It's crazy to think that the last time Brazil beat Argentina was all the way back in the 2019 Copa America semifinals. So it will be a massive statement if they're able to come out with the win here. But I'm saying it does not happen just yet. Well, there you have it, guys. Those are all of my World Cup qualifier predictions coming up in March for this international break. As always, let me know your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to leave a like on this video and subscribe if you're new. I know this video is probably a bit shorter than normal, but obviously with less matches, that's the case, and I had a lot to go over as I'm trying to cover as many confederations as I can for this international break. Anyway, I will see you all very, very soon. Take care. Lá com Norte.